All right. Hello, everyone. I'm back in the house. Okay. Thank you for tuning in once again to the Queen Ahmadiyyah Shakur show. Also, thanks to those of you tuned in on the Queen Ahmadiyyah Shakur TV show. I'm your host, Queen Ahmadiyyah Shakur, and this is the first dose of your daily vitamins. Okay. So, breaking news: Don Lemon has been fired and Tucker Carlson is no longer with Fox News. Okay. So, let's get into it. Let's get into it. Don't forget to like and share this video, okay? Make sure you like and share this video. This is breaking news, so let's talk about it. Okay, this just in about 45 minutes ago with Tucker Carlson. The ironic thing for me is that CNN reported this. After Don Lemon's gotten fired. Okay, pay attention. Okay, so here's what they're saying. Fox News and Tucker Carlson, the right-wing extremist who hosted the network's highly rated 8 p.m. hour, has severed ties. They say the network has said in a stunning announcement on Monday that he's no longer with them. The announcement came 1 week after Fox News settled a monster defamation lawsuit with Dominion Voting Systems for $787.5 million over the network's dissemination of election ties or lies. Now, Fox News said that Carlson's latest show, or his last show, was Friday, April the 21st. And I do believe that was the clip of the show that I showed you all this morning, where he was talking about the Uhuru Socialist Group and how they were deprived of their freedom of speech, and also saying that it was a double standard. And though he didn't agree with everything they said, he said whether you agree with the person's talking points or not, or their opinions or not, that's irrelevant. But people should absolutely be able to say what they want to say when they're speaking their opinions. Now, I'm just wondering, did that have anything to do with them getting rid of him? I'm just saying it all sounds very convenient. But anyway, what do I know? So Carlson was a top promoter of conspiracy theories and radical rhetoric at the network, they say. Not only did he repeatedly sow doubt about the legitimacy of the 2020 election, but he also promoted conspiracy theories about the stupid 19 venom and elevated white nationalist talking points. Well, he certainly did do that. Now, Jonathan Greenblatt, the head of the Anti-Defamation League, praised Fox News' decision, saying it's about time, and that for far too long, Tucker Carlson has used his primetime show to spew anti-Semitic, racist, xenophobic, and LGBTQ hate to millions. Here's the thing. Yeah, this all sounds true, but at the end of the day, do they really care? And Mr. Greenblatt of the Anti-Defamation League, does he really care if if Tucker Carlson was saying racist things, xenophobic things? I don't think so. Now, of course, he didn't like him saying anti-Semitic things, but I don't think he was concerned about him saying racist things. I mean, many of these networks say racist things and tell lies on people who look like me. That's just what they do. And they try to paint narratives and, skew people's views and all of that. But anyway, I digress. So they called him a top conspiracy theorist. Tucker Carlson was a key figure in Dominion Voting Systems' mammoth defamation lawsuit against Fox News, which the party settled last week on the brink of a trial for a historic $787 million. This is a whole lot of money. And I'm quite sure they were ticked off that they had to pay it and shell this all out. But here's the thing. They knew that Tucker was saying these things and that other people on Fox News were also saying these things. So you can't really blame him because they allowed him to continuously say these things. And in fact, many of them agreed with him. Okay. Now, in some ways, Carlson played an outsized role in the litigation. Only one of the 20 allegedly defamatory Fox broadcasts mentioned in the lawsuit came from Carlson's top-rated show. See, that's what I'm talking about. Only one of them came from his show because the other ones were saying the same things. Now, but as CNN exclusively reported, he was set to be one of Dominion's first witnesses to testify at the trial. And his private text messages, which became public as part of the suit, reverberated nationwide. Now, Dominion got its hands on Carlson's group chat with fellow Fox primetime stars Sean Hannity and Laura Ingraham. Gotta love those two. Okay, and a trove of other messages from around the 2020 presidential election. They say these communications revealed that Carlson told confidants that he passionately hated former President Donald Trump and that Trump's tenure in the White House was a disaster. He also used misogynistic terms to criticize pro-Trump attorney Sidney Powell and to reject her conspiracies about the 2020 election, even as those wild theories got airtime on Fox News. Now, the lawsuit exposed how Carlson privately held a wholly different view than his on air persona. A Dominion spokesperson did not comment on Carlson's departure from Fox. Carlson was also one of the biggest promoters of conspiracy theories in right-wing media, sowing doubt about the 2020 presidential election, the January 6th insurrection, and Stupid 19 venom. Now, in the first 2 years since the attack on the U.S. Capitol, the Fox primetime host used his huge platform to amplify paper-thin theories that the attack was a false flag operation orchestrated by the FBI and government agents because they loathed Trump, and that the criminal rioters were themselves the victims. The baseless theory originated from a right-wing website, and Carlson catapulted it into the mainstream by repeatedly featuring it on his show. He routinely suggested that Capitol rioter and Trump supporter Ray Epps was actually an FBI provocateur who sparked the deadly riot. Now, I wouldn't be surprised. They can call it conspiracy theory, and I'm not saying Tucker's right, but at the end of the day, you never know with these people. I mean, have they not told lies and had all kinds of shenanigans and, in fact, had something that we believe to be false flags at some points or another and used what we've thought many of us have felt like were crisis actors? Not saying they did in this situation, but in some instances, we absolutely felt that. So I don't think it's far-fetched. Now, in a 60 Minutes interview that aired Sunday night, Epps had this to say about Carlson's lies. He said, he's obsessed with me. He's going to any means possible to destroy my life, our lives. It's very interesting that when people expose people or say things about people that they don't want said, they often say the person's obsessed with them. I just want you all to pay attention. Now, Carlson's disinformation campaign about January the 6th reached its apex just a few months ago with an assistant from the newly installed House Speaker Kevin McCarthy, a California Republican. They say the top-rated Fox host obtained and aired never-before-seen footage from Capitol security cameras, but the clips were cherry-picked and selectively edited. Isn't that what all the news media do? Isn't that what all of them do? They cherry pick things because they want to go along with whatever suits their narrative. You see, so if something doesn't go along with their agenda or the narrative they're trying to push, well, they usually just bypass that and go get something that does. So, but anyway, and Tucker sounds crazy when he's trying to say those people that committed that whole insurrection on January the 6th, when he's trying to say they were victims. They were not victims. They were a bunch of thugs. They were, they were domestic terrorists as far as I'm concerned, okay? And my question still is to this day, how come none of them got charged with murder after the officer, Brian Sicknick, ended up deleted? What about Ashley Babbitt? I just have questions. How come, Lakeith Smith can get sentenced to initially 65 years because the cop shot his friend when they were in the commission of a crime, and then later resentenced to 30 years when he didn't do anything to anybody that was physically harmful other than trying to break in homes and steal these Xboxes or whatnot. But these people at the January 6th insurrection, people turned up deleted. Now, how come none of them who were in the commissions of felonies while this all happened and transpired, how come none of them got those same charges that Lakeith Smith got? I just want you all to pay attention. Okay? So to go on to say, he said on his program that he ran the tapes by the U.S. Capitol Police before airing the material, but they disputed his claim. So they said Tucker was lying, honey. Now, Abby Grossberg, the ex-Fox News producer, who has since disavowed the network, claims lawsuits that there was rampant sexism and misogyny among Tucker Carlson's show team. Grossberg, who joined Carlson's team after the 2020 election, said in her lawsuit that after her first day on the job that it became apparent how pervasive the misogyny and drive to embarrass and objectify women was among the male staff at TCT, referring to Tucker Carlson tonight. Well, that's no surprise. I absolutely don't think that people who are blatantly racist and who try to push and paint narratives about other people that don't look like them, I don't put anything past them. That would include them being misogynist, sexist, and being woefully, dishonest and just downright rude and disrespectful to women. I absolutely don't put that past them. In fact, that's what I expect them to do. Okay? So she says, so the show ending last week was tough. And I want you to know it's not some big conspiracy. I promise you, there's no acrimony. This wasn't some like WWE brawl that happened. We just couldn't come to terms on an extension. And that's really it. Fox News responded in a statement saying that we thank Dan for his contributions and wish him success in his future endeavors. The shares of Fox Corporation FOXA fell 5% on the news. Now, the stock had been up slightly before the announcement. Carlson did not immediately respond to a CNN request for comments. Well, that's the end of his reign. So long, Tucker. All right. Now let's talk about Don Lemon because he is also going. Okay. Oh, very interesting. Everyone, please get the likes up. Please do not forget to like and share. Also, please double check to make sure you're still subscribed to the channel. Sometimes people become mysteriously unsubscribed. Or specifically make sure to check if you have not been receiving your notifications. Okay, and don't forget to follow me on Instagram at Dr._A_Shakur, TikTok, Dr. A Shakur, and Twitter at DGoddess27. Now, here's the news about Don Lemon because this came out like about an hour ago. Okay, from NBC News. Now they say Don Lemon says he has been fired from CNN. The news comes as Don has been at the center of a string of controversies over his on-air comments and treatment of female colleagues. Well, who would have thought? So anyway, they say Don Lemon was terminated from his anchor role at CNN, and he announced this on Monday. The news comes after Variety published a story earlier this month on allegations that he mistreated his female colleagues over the course of his career there. And earlier this month, he faced backlash over widely criticized comments that he made on air. Lemon announced the news on Twitter, saying that he was informed by his agent that he was being terminated. He said, I was stunned. After 17 years at CNN, I would have thought someone in management would have had the decency to tell me directly, honey, let me tell you something. I don't know why these people foolishly think that these people are going to give them the ups, give them a heads up, let them know what's going on. This is how devils do. Snakes. They operate behind your back. They hit you with an element of surprise. Okay. Now, Don Lemon sat up there and he was a tool of theirs for all this time. And he thinks they're going to do him, some type of justification by giving him the heads up. No, beloved, that's what they're not going to do. They're just going to get rid of you and you'll be the last to know whilst everyone else will be laughing behind your back. That's how that generally goes. I don't know why these people always think, people who have the position as Don Lemon who look like me, and they always think that these people who don't look like them are going to have their best interest in mind, that they're going to give them a heads up, a warning or something. No, they're on code. Okay, and if Don Lemon had been on code with people who look like him, maybe he wouldn't have found himself in this, this whole preposterous situation that he's currently in. But I digress. So in a tweet, CNN refuted Lemon's account as inaccurate. The network said that he was offered a chance to meet with management, but instead released a statement on Twitter. The CEO, Chris Licht, said that the network and Lemon have parted ways. Okay, this is according to a memo that was provided to NBC News Monday. Now, Don, they say, will forever be a part of the CNN family, and we thank him for his contributions over the past 17 years. We wish him well. He ain't got to go home, but he got to get the what up out of here. Okay, we wish him well, and we will be cheering him on in his future endeavors. So anyway, let me just show the tweet that poor Don posted after he got the sad news. I'm sure he was looking so forlorn. I mean, who wouldn't be after having such a cushy job for 17 years and just like that, in the blink of an eye, it's taken away from you with no warning, no provocation that you can think of. Okay, and there it is. So anyway, goes on to say that Don Lemon had been with CNN since 2006, joining the network after anchoring the NBC Chicago or anchoring at NBC Chicago and working as a correspondent for NBC News, The Today Show, and the NBC Nightly News. Well, that's quite a resume, I'm just saying. Okay, Lemon first came under fire in February during a segment on CNN This Morning in which he remarked that Republican presidential candidate Nikki Haley, who's 51, was no longer in her prime. You all remember that because I reported on it. Now, the comment was made while discussing the suggestion by Haley that candidates over the age of 75 should be subjected to mental competency exams. Nikki Haley isn't in her prime. Sorry, that's what Don said. When a woman is considered to be in her prime is in her 20s and 30s and maybe her 40s, he said. Now, when pushed by co-anchor Poppy Harlow, Lemon told her not to shoot the messenger. Well, I don't see any lies told. He was right. She's not in her prime. I'm just saying. So Litz told employees that Lemon agreed to partake in training following the public backlash to his comments. He also told Semaphore earlier this month that both CNN and Lemon had moved on from the issue. Well, so he thought. Now they say Don Lemon is a lightning rod because he really came to prominence during an era where what was celebrated and encouraged is prime time now. Okay. But a Variety report published April the 5th alleged that Lemon has a long history of questionable behavior towards women. The report was based on more than a dozen former current colleagues, according to Variety, who described Lemon as openly hostile to the women at work. Most of the sources spoke anonymously to the outlet. NBC has not independently verified these allegations. So anyway, the bottom line is Don's gone. They say his termination comes less than 2 years after former anchor Chris Cuomo was fired from the network. Cuomo, who anchored his own primetime show for CNN, was fired in December of 2021 after an attorney general investigation was conducted into sexual misconduct allegations against his brother, former Governor Andrew Cuomo. And remember, they said that Chris Cuomo was trying to get favors done, and so all this stuff would come out about his brother. The investigation revealed the depth of Cuomo's role in helping his brother fight the allegations. He had previously disclosed some conversations with his brother, but the Attorney General report revealed a great level of involvement than CNN was even aware of, and the network said at that time that it was time for him to go. Cuomo filed legal actions against CNN seeking $125 million for wrongful termination last year. And that is still pending. So we'll see how that all turns out. We will see how that all turns out. So last but not least, you may remember the story that I talked about, the story I broke about the 3 young girls who were found drowned in the neighbor's pond, and the mother's friend was supposed to be watching them. Now, I hadn't heard this update. I don't know if you all heard it or not, but they said that the 3 sisters, ages 5, 8, and 9, that were thought to have drowned in the neighbor's pool were in fact strangled. This is what cops revealed, but say they don't have a suspect, and it's been about 8 months. They say the 3 sisters were found deceased in the neighbor's pond after vanishing. The district attorney revealed Thursday that the girls were strangled, lacerated. The victims were Zairiel Robinson Oliver, 9 years old, Amaya Hughes, 8 years old, and Timari Robinson Oliver, age 5. Also very sad. And so basically says that these little angels were strangled before they were placed in the pond. So somebody purposely did this. It wasn't an accident. And I did not even know this. Okay. And this was out like maybe a couple of weeks ago, this part, the update. Now they say 3 Texas sisters who were thought to have drowned in the neighbor's pond were actually strangled before they were dumped there. This is according to the autopsy. It was originally believed that Zairiel Robinson Oliver, age 9, Amaya Hughes, 8, and Timari Robinson Oliver, age 5, had all drowned after a dive team pulled their bodies from the pond on a neighboring property on July the 22nd of 2022. But Cass County District Attorney Courtney Shelton said in a statement Thursday, the girls actually died from strangulation and suffered lacerations to their faces. So somebody clearly did this. This is all so crazy. The investigation has been ongoing for the past 8 months, and Shelton says it will continue with her office, as well as the Texas Rangers and Sheriff's Office, all asking anyone to come forward with information. Multiple witness statements have been obtained. DNA testing is ongoing, and the investigation will continue, they say. This is all so sad. So anyway, they also say the district attorney did not make any mention of potential suspects or a motive to these killings. Now they say Zyriel, Amaya, and Tamari went missing from their Atlanta home around 200 miles east of Fort Worth, home around 10 p.m. on July the 22nd, prompting a multi-agency search for the girls. A family friend had been watching the three of them and their other siblings while their mother, Shamonique Oliver, age 28, was at work. Now, the babysitter called 911 to report their disappearance. How did she even let these beautiful children get out of her sight? How did that even happen? Was she asleep, talking on the phone, just not paying attention, being attentive to them? Something is crazy. So police centered their search around the pond after a pair of shoes and other items of clothing were found scattered near and in and around the water. They say we located items of clothing around the pond and in the pond. This is what Texas Game Warden Sean Hervey told KSLA. And so we centered the search around the small body of water and the use of divers who were able to recover three victims at approximately 2 a.m. So anyway, they say video from the scene showed a bicycle abandoned on the property, seemingly close to the pond. It was unclear if the bike belonged to the girls and if they rode it to the property. They said we have no idea what the girls were doing there. This is what Cass County Sheriff Larry Rowe said to the Texarkana Gazette. As shortly after discovering the bodies, they say nobody has been accused of anything. And then one of them named Harvey added that this is not an everyday occurrence, but it does happen. Shamonique told DailyMail.com at the time that she was heartbroken over the loss of her daughters and not conducting interviews at this time. I can't blame her. This has to be absolutely tragic for her. She says, at this time, I'm trying to bury my babies, she said, noting on social media that the incident was unexpected and a big hurt and shock to her entire family. Through this whole process, I have my family helping me to get through this. It's a hard time with me, and the loss of my sweet baby girls is so unreal. But I know I have to be strong for the sake of my other three babies because they need me more than ever. The grieving mother created a GoFundMe account to help with funeral costs and other related expenses. This was so unexpected and a big hurt and shock to myself and my family. We're now asking for help to lay my sweet angels to rest. This is what she said. Whatever you can donate will be appreciated. This is also very sad. Also very sad. And so with that all being said, I'm going to share my screen just to show this brief clip of the Cass County area where their bodies were recovered from. Don't forget to like and share. Please be sure to like and share this video. Thank you in advance, beloveds.
Ray Magliozzi here. When you need parts, eBay Motors ensures a guaranteed fit. Hey, Dave?
Yep. Wait.
How are those new wipers?
They're small.
Just go to eBay Motors where the check means a guaranteed fit. Let's ride.
6 more details are emerging following the drowning death of 3 children in Cass County. Officials say they recovered the bodies of 9-year-old Zyriel Oliver, 8-year-old Amaya Harvey, and 5-year-old Tamari Oliver earlier this morning near Cass County 3319. This after they were reported missing Friday night. Officials say their bodies were found in a pond at a neighboring property of where they live.
3 juvenile females were reported missing. We all responded. Our Texas Parks and Wildlife and Cass County Sheriff's Office, along with some of their volunteer fire departments, responded to the area. We located items of clothing around the pond and in a pond. So we centered the search on that small body of water. And with the use of divers, we were able to recover the 3 victims at approximately 2 a.m. this morning.
Officials said they've ordered an autopsy for those 3 girls. Also new.
That's really sad. And it is very disheartening to know that someone purposely took their lives. They didn't just fall into that pond and drown, which was first what was thought. And that's what it seemed like, that maybe the 2 younger ones fell in and the older sister went in and tried to help them maybe, but no. Someone strangled those children. They had lacerations on them, I believe on their faces and things. So somebody maliciously did this. And I wonder, was it more than one person? Because likely it was, because there was 3 of them. Who was helping? Because I think there was more than one person, like I said, because 3 kids at these ages, 5, 8, and 9, surely one of them may have been able to try to run away, flee to get help or whatever. But if they were all strangled, now it takes 2 hands to strangle someone. So what were the other 2 doing? I think someone was there helping this person and likely had them 2 subdued while they took out the first one. This is just also sad and horrible and horrifying to even think about and fathom. I can only wonder how the mother felt getting that news. The friend, I want to know what she was doing when these young children left the house, left the yard, and got out of her sight. What was she doing? Were the doors locked at the residence, or were they just unlocked and they just slipped out? I just have questions. Did she have something to do with it? I don't know, but I hope they get some answers. So with that all being said, beloveds, I want to thank you all for tuning back in once again. Please like and share, subscribe to the channels. If you haven't done so already, be sure to click that notification bell and click the word all so that you're notified each time the Queen Goddess goes live. All right, don't forget to follow me on Instagram at Dr._A_Shakur, on TikTok at Dr. A. Shakur, Twitter at DGoddess27. I love you all to life. Each one teach one. That's how we grow and thrive. Do something productive, constructive, but never destructive. And always remember, beloveds, to keep the Most High first in your lives. Peace.
Yo, Nick, hit him with that flavor.
Gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you're done. They show no love for the queen. Why you hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans? I got dreams like King Luther, shed blood like Kunta. You ain't helping my people, I ain't got nothing to say to ya. I want all the smoke like hookah. Talking reparations, America won't be great until they give us compensation. I'm like, I'm the hottest right now.
That's
See
right.
a bunch of lames out here trying to jock on my style. They be doing too much. I'm the queen, it's too easy. It's like they all at Popeyes, how they be talking so greasy.
Real slick.
I just sit back and laugh while these haters get madder. So nefarious how they don't want my pockets with cheddar. I tell them they can do better. These snakes in the grass can leave a bite on your ass, cause y'all be trusting too fast. I got my foot on the gas, other one on they necks. Dropping receipts on haters, you better show some respect. I'm never facing regrets, we only facing the threats. Running through every challenge like a relay, break no sweat. It's a cold game, so I got that blanket with me. Now that my people awaken, ain't no going to sleep. I do not play by my piece, this time I'm playing for keeps. You talking slick, but when I see you like them ends, we gon' meet. And I got gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you done. They show no love for the queen. Why they hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans and I got gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you done. They show no love for the queen. Why